Hey there and welcome back to my channel. So I am back here with another haul, this time from Perfumeonline.Ca, one of my two favorite websites that I always use. As always, there's always links in the description box if you guys want $5 off on your order, and they deliver to Canada and the United States. So I was gonna get this order really for one fragrance that was actually inspired by one of you guys. And then I kind of looped it in with two other fragrances. So I have three to talk to you guys about today. Two are blind buys, and one is actually a fragrance that I've tried for ages, have loved for ages, and have never picked up. So I'm kind of proud of myself of trying to be a little bit better of getting the things I know I actually love and not constantly taking risks, but I'm still a huge blind buy lover. So yeah, there's a little bit of balance there, I suppose. And I feel like, and I always say this, but I'm really thinking that I am going to be kind of slowing down on new purchases so that I can enjoy the huge amount of fragrances I've added to my collection since January 2020, and also be able to bring you guys more dedicated videos, reviews, like analysis videos, because I've really enjoyed those. So in the comments below, also leave ideas of things you want me to talk about, tags or topics, and I will pick from those. So we will start with the fragrance I've already smelled, and that is Armani Code Cashmere. And if you've been watching my videos, then you will know I love Armani Code Cashmere and Satin. Satin wasn't available online, so I decided to pick up Cashmere. They're pretty similar, honestly, to my nose. They're not identical, but they're pretty similar. So for now, I'm happy to have picked up one, and I'm sure you guys have seen, I don't know in which video it was, but I mentioned that I really do like them, and it's just one of the fragrances that I never pick up for whatever reason. So I'm happy to have picked it up. And if you haven't seen that video, then do make sure to subscribe so you're notified every single time I put out a new video, and yeah, it really helps out my channel. So here's what it looks like. I have tried the original Armani Code for her. It's nice, but I definitely prefer Cashmere and Satin to the original. Armani Code for him, however, used to be one of my favorite scents. In high school, was my favorite scent on men, and for maybe like 4 or 5 years, I just loved it. Now it just like transports me to that time and high school and people then, so it's not really my favorite anymore. I still think it's beautiful, but yeah, I just don't necessarily want to be reminded of high school every day, but I do think it's really nice. So I'm happy to have Armani Code Cashmere now, and this one has orange blossom, jasmine, heliotrope, almond milk, iris, suede, incense, leather, and patchouli. And I already know it's beautiful, but let's try it together. Yeah, I love it. It's definitely like leather and suede-y, but it's not so rich and leathery where it's like, I don't know, like burnt leather, or so rich where it's like devoid of all sweetness. It's definitely still floral. I get a really beautiful orange blossom. It's a little sweet, but it does have a really nice like base of that leather and suede and incensey, slightly woody. It's really, really beautiful. There is an element of, I don't know, like it's the root beer-esque note is what I call it. It's definitely in this. It's definitely in Satin. It's in like the 4 M's by Juliet Has a Gun. It's also in Hypnotic Poison, oftentimes with almond or orange blossom. Like sometimes, not oftentimes, sometimes there are fragrances that includes those kind of notes that have a root beer-esque or vibe to them, and I love fragrances that have that. It's not to everyone's nose, so maybe you won't be able to pick it up, but for those of us who get that note or that chord or whatever that vibe is, then this has it, and it's essentially what draws me to this. I really, really like this. I'm so happy to have it. From what I remember, I feel like the Satin was a little bit sweeter than this, but now I feel like I've forgotten what Satin is like. I'm happy to have one of them, and who knows, maybe when I'm off this kind of no buy and trying to enjoy my collection. When I've gone through a couple more and I decide to purchase again, maybe I will pick up the satin as well. But for now, so happy to have this as part of my collection. And again, I will include it in the second impressions. I always do in my little recaps, but for now, love it and cannot say any more good things about it. So then we will get to the two blind buys, and I will start with the one I'm least nervous about. So the first one is by Bulgari, and it's the Eau Parfumée, the Thé Bleu. And this is that range where there's like Eau Thé Blanc, Rouge, Vert, Bleu, and Noir. I think there's 5. I might have missed one, but I think there's 5. Basically, there's like 5 or so tea scents that Bulgari did in their range. And this, if you guys have been watching, has been recommended to me a lot. And I've heard about it for a long time because I own and have owned a bunch of Bulgari fragrances, and because I love tea fragrances and I love tea notes in fragrances. So I've definitely known about it, and it's been one of those ranges where I'm like, okay, I know you're there, but I'm just gonna leave you to the side for a moment. And in this order, I was being a little bit more spontaneous, and I decided to go with one of them. And the one I chose is the Eau Thé Bleu, the blue one. And this one lists oolong tea, blue tea, iris blossom, and lavender. And I love lavender, I love iris, of course. And they were all tea scents, but I decided to I haven't really heard that much about this one. I usually hear the Blanc, the white one, and I think Rouge, the red one, recommended to me. Some people like the Vert green tea one, but I felt like I didn't want to go the green route because it might be, there's a lot more green tea scents than there are other types of tea scents, and the Eau Thé Bleu just seemed interesting to me. It seemed kind of like it would be a little bit more herbal and slightly floral because of the iris and yeah, the lavender. So anyways, this is what it looks like, kind of a frosted bottle. I think it's really beautiful, and we will try it together. Okay. And I will also, oh my God, it's beautiful. I will also try this one on my, I guess kind of my skin, but also my dress here, because it's obviously a softer scent, but it's not like one where you'll spray it and it's immediately a skin scent. You'll definitely smell it, and I can feel like there would be projection, but again, this is a first spray. Now, it's definitely tea-like, but it's kind of like a combination of, you get like a rich tea scent and a light tea scent. And I'm not super familiar with blue tea, but maybe the oolong tea is the more richer tea, which I am familiar with, and the blue tea is the little bit more fresher tea. And you do get lavender in it, and the iris blossom is interesting because you don't really get iris in like a sweet iris or a powdery iris. It's more of like a papery iris. If you're familiar with papery iris notes, where it smells papery, it smells like paper. Obviously it's a floral paper, but yeah, I definitely get that. And it's stunning, you guys. I'm really happy with it. I feel like, again, this was the perfect time to get it, where, you know, we're getting incredibly hot days, very, very humid, and I really like to wear tea scents and like aromatic, fresher scents when it's high heat. So I'm happy to have picked this up. It smells like none of my other tea fragrances that currently I own, so that's great as well. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. So that's Eau Thé Blanc by Bulgari. And then the last one, I can't believe I'm leaving a celebrity scent as my last fragrance of a haul. Usually I save the best for last, and they tend to be, you know, niche or designer, but this was actually the reason I put in this order, because one of you guys, and your username is BettyXO, I'm sure you know who you are, but you had mentioned, you'd put in one of my videos and you'd mentioned the Intimately Beckham fragrance by Victoria Beckham. And I had heard about this, I don't know, a little bit ago, maybe a couple months ago, where people were going crazy to find it. It's been discontinued and they all really liked it and loved it. And honestly, I was never super interested in picking it up. And yet, I don't know what it was about your comment. I just happened to look it up on Perfume Online, and I noticed that there was a tester bottle, actually. A 75 ml, but a tester bottle on sale there, so I thought might as well. Everywhere else seemed sold out, and it was kind of like a, you better get it now if you're ever gonna get it, because who knows when it's gonna be available. And I think the other thing that kind of convinced me is you mentioned that you'd heard that it was compared to Gucci 2, which I do own and I can kind of compare to. And if you guys don't know, I love Gucci 2. And I saw in Fragrantica that people also compare it to Pure Poison, which I don't own, but I really do like. So bottle wise, and again, this is a tester, so it doesn't have its cap, but I actually think I might keep this cover on it because it's doing a good, it's not just like a cardboard, it actually kind of snaps into place. So I think I will keep that. Bottle wise, I will say, other than the cap, which I will take off the cap on Gucci 2, they are quite similar. They're both kind of like heavy cube bottles. Gucci 2 is a little bit heavier, but still, and they all have kind of a base that the juice isn't even hitting, so they're bigger. And I believe the cap on this is a rectangle instead of a square, but they couldn't copy exactly. So bottle wise, definitely similar. Even the name, like the background, this light pink is the pink color that the Gucci box comes in. So we will spray together. This is the one I'm definitely the most nervous about because for a celebrity scent, even though it was a tester, it was slightly more expensive. Not expensive, but more than I would have paid usually for a Victoria Beckham scent, but people really seem to like it. So let's see how I feel. And I will spray kind of a little bit more on my skin as well. Okay, so I definitely get the comparison to Pure Poison. Again, I don't have it on me, so I can't say for certain and really compare them side to side, but it's a clean white floral, and Pure Poison is very much a clean fragrance as well. It's a clean floral. This is reminding me of something. It does not remind me of Gucci 2. No, certainly does not. This has like blackcurrant and it's slightly woody, and this one, yeah, it's not reminding me of that at all. Maybe slightly Pure Poison, but from memory, I definitely prefer Pure Poison. And I can't recall what this is actually reminding me of, but it's a fragrance I've smelled and possibly own. It's definitely floral. I don't think I read the notes for this. This is lily from Casablanca, tuberose, neroli, powdery vanilla, milky sandalwood, and sensual musk. There's definitely lily. I'm trying to think of going through my lily fragrances. I don't know. I'll have to come back in the second impressions and find if I can find what this is reminding me of, because it's definitely reminding me of something. I will say straight off the bat, it's not especially special to me. I mean, it's not bad. It's a nice floral. I do get like a very light touch of tuberose, but it's not too strong because tuberose can often kind of overpower other florals in a fragrance. Definitely a lily, but I get it in there, but it's not overpowering everything, which is nice. I don't get any of that, you know, the almond or the milky notes, the almond milk and the milky sandalwood, but those are more so in the base, I think. So we will see how this dries down, how it kind of wears. Yeah, but off the top of my head, you know, as a first impression, it's not my favorite. So as you guys know, I like to put my fragrances in order of what I'm most interested in wearing after, you know, these hauls and first impressions. And third place, I will say I have to put Intimately Beckham. For me, honestly, I just had way too much hype around this, both personally and because of the reviews I'd read. It isn't as special to my nose as they made it out to be. I probably should have trusted my gut, honestly, on this one, of what I originally felt, but you're always gonna have, it's not a dud, I don't hate it, but it just reminds me of something I already own, and I will check to see if it's that fragrance from Santorini of the private perfumer, but yeah, it's nothing special. It's definitely not like Gucci 2, maybe slightly like Pure Poison, but I don't even think of that. I think it's more so of like a pretty normal floral fragrance, honestly, and I will, you know, see how the dry down is and if it gets creamier and more interesting, but for me, this is a very normal average fragrance, so it has to be in third place. And then in second place, I will say, if only because I see myself wearing it for less months during the year, I would put Thé Bleu rather. This one's really nice. I really did like it. I think it's interesting. I think it's a beautiful tea fragrance. I'll have to obviously see how long it lasts. I don't think it'll be a super long time. It's an eau de cologne after all, but I definitely do like it. I just, if I had to, I would put it in second place because I feel like I would get a lot more wear during the year from Armani Code Cashmere. And this is one, I may have bought it recently, but I've loved it for a really, really long time. So this will have to be a first place position for me. I'm so happy with it, and it's the one I already knew I would like, so that kind of makes sense as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to leave in the comments what kind of videos you want to see from me, tag videos, any requests you have. I will kind of pick from there, and I often do take you guys' ideas, so let me know. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!